Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, and today we're gonna go over my top 10 animes. And just to be clear, there will be spoilers in this video. That is your spoilers alert, and to say it as well is that this is just my personal opinion. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. And with that out of the way, let's get started! Coming up as number 5 is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I'm gonna be honest, I mostly put this on this list because of our main hero, Edward Eric. I think he is one of the best protagonists in anime. And it's not to say that this show hasn't other great characters and the story isn't great, but sometimes I feel like the story and the characters lacking a lot. But except from that, I think that is really great show. Roy Mustang is an awesome character, especially when you piss him off. Armstrong is funny. The series is full of lovable and badass characters that you can't help but like. And Father, the main villain, deserved that punch in the face. I do wish they could have done that better, but it was pretty awesome to see Eric punch him in the face and destroy him. As I said, I wish they did it better, but it was still satisfying. And the homunculus was great monsters. Lust is one of my favorite villains of that show. I really did enjoy this series. I think it could have done a lot of things better, but it has still great character, great villains, and great story. Coming up as number 9 is Fate Zero. Now, I haven't played the games, but I've watched all the shows, or almost all of them. And Fate Zero is the best, and it's not hard to know why. It's a really great story that is really well built, and the fact that they're focusing on it being a prequel helps as well. Saber is a great protagonist. I really think she is one of the best characters in Fate, and her partner in Fate Zero is a great character as well. The story was, as I said earlier, the story was well built. And the twist that they tried to destroy the Grail in the end was actually pretty clever, since it caused for evil. I also like Gilgamesh in this season. He was as evil and fucked up as ever. I think it was just a really great series. Coming up as number 8 is Sword Art Online. Now, I'm gonna admit I haven't watched all of it. I've watched most of the series, but I haven't seen the movies of it. So that's that. But as for the story and the characters, I think they did a really great job. Inda Kirko isn't my favorite main character. He is still a good character, a good main lead. And as for his love interest, he's a great female character as well. A good love interest to him. I know some of you doesn't think their relation is that great, but I think it's decent. I think that their story was worked so well that there's people trapped in a reality world. To get out of this virtual world, they have to defeat the boss. And once they get out, they go back to playing video games and enjoying life. It's a really great story. It's great characters, and I think the creators did a great job. Coming up as number 7 is The Rising of the Shield Hero. I'm a big fan of this series. I read some of the manga, and I feel like it's only getting better. I know season 2 wasn't the biggest of highlight for lots of you, but I didn't have that much problem with it. I loved the story of Naofumi, of how he was framed for something he didn't do, and slowly but surely start to earn back the respect of the people. And Naofumi can be a bit of a jerk, But that's one of the reasons I like him. He's that type of hero that tries to do the right thing, but can still be a bit of a jerk about it. I also like the vast number of supporting characters from Natalia to Philo to the other heroes. All of them is great characters. I have nothing against either of them. They're funny, but they're strong, they're good written, they're good characters, mostly, except for Bitch. And to be honest, this was have earned its place here. I was considering putting it as number 6, but I thought number 7 was a good place to put it. Coming up as number 6 is Code Geass. Now, this is an excellent story written almost completely perfect. There's a few things I think they could have done better, but when all comes to all, it's a great show, it has great story, and it has great character. Lelouch, the villainous protagonist, is so well written that he might be one of the best protagonists in anime. A disgraced prince or disowned prince that trying to take revenge on the country that destroyed him and his sister, wanting to create a better world for his sister, but he's doing all in a really wrong way. You understand why he thinks he has to do it this way, but you can't always agree with his methods. He is a villain and he is a hero at the same time. He can be a bit heroic. And as for a lot of the other characters, I think most of them are written really well. I love the whole concept about the Black Knights. I liked it when Lelouch was able to defeat his father, his brother, that moment he was King of Britannia, and attention entire world, hear my word, I'm Lelouch Britannia, Emperor of the Holy Britannia Empire, and from this day off your only ruler. That is one of the best moments in anime history, in my opinion. The only moment I think was better was from the same show where Susaku kills Lelouch. It has great moments, it has great story, and it has great characters. Coming up as number 5 is Fairy Tail. Now, Fairy Tail is an excellent show. I really like our main protagonist of that show because I don't think the show will have been the same if the protagonist wasn't the way he was. But I like much more than just the protagonist. I liked all of the supporting characters and I liked the story. I feel like it sometimes is a bit of a naive story with the character sometimes seeing too much good or too much nice at times, like when he saved someone that was trying to kill them, but that's because this show has some of the best and good characters out there. I like the villains and I like the story. Hades is perhaps my favorite villain. I'm not quite sure. I have to see the final season because I haven't gotten to it because I've been caught up with so much else. But I'm going to finish the final season soon. Number 4 is My Hero Academia. Now, out of modern anime, this one is one of the best in my opinion. I like the characters. I think the story is pretty great. But what makes this series shine is the characters. Deku is a great protagonist. Bakugo is a great rival to him. And all of the other characters are great in their own opinion. I might make a top 10 My Hero Academia characters later. But All For One is a real fucked up villain. It has so many great characters, so many great villains, and I really like a lot about this show. Now, as I said, the story is great. I feel like the story in previous entry on this list was maybe a bit better, but I don't think it is bad. Good story, good characters, and go beyond! Plus Ultra! Coming up as number 3 is Dragon Ball Z. This is the one that revolutionized anime. It got great story and it got great character. With all the Dragon Ball shows, I really think Z is the best. The only one that comes closer is Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Z has Frieza, it has Cell. Again, it has great story, great characters. Goku and his personal story, seeing him as a father, having him sacrifice himself, and so on and so on. There's so many reasons why I could talk about why this is a great anime. And if I were gonna do that, I will need a whole separate video. All I can say is that Dragon Ball Z is one of its greatest masterpiece. I heard that the director, or the creator I mean, passed away, and I want to say I'm sorry that he had passed away. I'm sorry to his loved ones. I hope they dealing with this, but I also want to thank him for giving us such a great show. Coming up as number 2 is Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. Now, some of you may say this is cheating, but I consider it one show. I think that the story is better than Dragon Ball, even though I think Dragon Ball have a few better characters, but the story of Naruto and Sasuke is one of the reasons why I added so high on this list. Naruto, a boy that is hated by everyone, that could easily have become a villain, turn out to be a hero, and that if his fight with Gaara, a character that was for a moment the opposite of him, having the same tragic background, and actually turning out as a villain, it showed that Naruto could have become like him. And that is just one of the things. Tsunade, Jiraiya, Sakura, Ino, Shikamaru, all of those characters are great characters. As I said earlier, I think Dragon Ball has some better characters, but I feel like the personal story in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden is better, and that is why I added it as number 2. And you guessed it, number 1 is One Piece! One Piece, in my opinion, is by far the best anime ever made. Look, I understand why someone doesn't always like Goofy nature, but I can't help but find him funny. One Piece is a funny story, but it also has serious moments. It balancing comedy with seriousness. Even our main protagonist has been serious from time to time. And Luffy's new gear 5, it's the funniest in anime, in my opinion. And it has some of anime's best characters like Ace, like Sabo, like Garp, like Dragon, the most mysterious character. It has great characters. It also has real awesome characters like Zoro and his three-sword style. I can talk about everything great about One Piece, but I will need a whole separate video for it. Great characters, great story, great execution. All of this helps to make One Piece the number 1 anime in my opinion. And that's it for this video. Do you agree with this list? Do you disagree with this list? Let me know in the comment section down below. I hope to see you guys again next time.